Look around you. Watch how people interact in a coffee shop, in a boardroom, or on the street. Watch who gets ignored, who gets talked over, and who gets the immediate, unspoken respect of everyone in the room. Society feeds you a comforting lie from the day you are born. They tell you, don't judge a book by its cover. They tell you that character matters more than clothes, that modesty is a virtue, and that true wealth is on the inside. It is a beautiful lie. But in the ruthless game of human psychology, it is completely, fundamentally false. The harsh, undeniable truth of the world is this: people will treat you exactly how you dress, how you stand, and how you present your value to them in the first 3 seconds of meeting you. If you look like you have nothing, the world will give you nothing. If you look like a victim of circumstance, predators will treat you like prey. If you look poor, you will be treated poorly. Welcome to the dark psychology of appearance. Today, we are diving deep into the Machiavellian principles of perception and Robert Greene's Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. We are going to dismantle the illusion of humility and teach you how to force others to respect you, even if your bank account is currently sitting at zero. This isn't about buying designer clothes you can't afford. This is about the weaponization of your image. This is about never looking poor. To understand why appearance is the ultimate cheat code in society, you must first understand a psychological phenomenon known as the halo effect. This is a cognitive bias where human beings automatically assume that because a person possesses one positive trait, like a sharp, authoritative appearance, they must possess other positive traits, such as intelligence, competence, wealth, and trustworthiness. Think about it. When a man walks into a room with a perfectly tailored jacket, impeccable grooming, and a posture that demands space, your brain makes a split-second calculation. Before he even opens his mouth, you assume he is successful. You assume his time is valuable. You instinctively step out of his way. Contrast this with someone who walks in with slumped shoulders, wearing ill-fitting, neglected clothes, looking apologetic for simply existing. The world instinctively steps on them. Human beings are, at their core, primal creatures. We are hardwired to scan our environment for status cues. In the animal kingdom, the alpha doesn't walk around trying to convince the pack of his power. He simply displays it through his size, his mane, or his posture. In human society, your appearance is your mane. It is the visual resume you hand to every single person you walk past. If that resume screams low value, you have already lost the negotiation before it even began. Many people fall into the trap of looking humble because they think it makes them more relatable or morally superior. They think, I don't need to dress up to prove my worth. My work will speak for itself. This is the mindset of a servant, not a master. In Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, Law 34 states, the way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. By acting out an attitude of extreme confidence and presenting an exterior of high value, you dictate the terms of reality. If you choose to dress and carry yourself like a peasant out of some misplaced sense of humility, do not be surprised when society hands you a shovel. Being poor is a temporary financial state, but looking poor is a psychological disease. It signals to the world that you have given up, that you do not value yourself, and most dangerously, that you are easily exploitable. When you project an image of lack, you attract predators. Bosses will underpay you, partners will disrespect you, and strangers will dismiss you. Why? Because your appearance has implicitly given them permission to do so. To master this dark art, we must look at history. Let me tell you the story of George Brian Brummell, better known as Beau Brummell. He lived in late 18th century England, a time when society was entirely dictated by extreme wealth and aristocratic bloodlines. Brummell had neither. He was not a lord, he did not have a massive fortune, and he had no political power. Yet he became the absolute dictator of fashion and society in London, holding more social power than dukes and earls. How did a man with moderate means command the respect of the entire British Empire, including the Prince of Wales himself? Brummell understood the dark psychology of appearance. While the rich aristocrats wore gaudy, ridiculous outfits covered in gold lace and jewels to prove their wealth, Brummell went in the exact opposite direction. He weaponized simplicity and perfection. He wore dark coats perfectly tailored. His linen was immaculately clean. His boots were polished to a mirror shine. His posture was unshakable, and his attitude was one of utter superiority. He didn't wear wealth. He wore discipline. He created an illusion of such high status that the actual wealthy people felt inferior around him. They began to copy him. The Prince of Wales would spend hours in Brummell's dressing room just to watch him tie his cravat, hoping to absorb a fraction of his aura. Brummell forced the most powerful men in the world to respect him, not by showing them his bank account, but by presenting an image so sharp and unapologetic that they had no choice but to bow to it. The lesson of Beau Brummell is critical for you today. Never look poor does not mean look like you just robbed a Gucci store. Wearing massive logos and flashy fake jewelry actually screams insecurity. It screams new money, or worse, no money pretending to be new money. True power in appearance comes from immaculate grooming, perfect fit, and the aggressive projection of self-respect. If you want to stop looking poor and start commanding respect, you must first eradicate the psychological signals of cheapness from your life. This connects directly to our previous rule: never be cheap. Looking poor is the visual manifestation of a cheap mindset. The first signal you must destroy is poor grooming. You can wear a thrift store suit, but if your hair is sharp, your face is clean, your nails are manicured, and you smell like a professional, you will command more respect than a man in a $2,000 suit who looks disheveled. Grooming is the ultimate indicator of self-respect. When you neglect your physical vessel, you tell the subconscious minds of everyone around you, I do not care about myself. Therefore, you do not need to care about me. The second signal is the fit of your clothing. Baggy, ill-fitting clothes are the universal uniform of the defeated. They say, I am hiding, or I cannot afford to pay attention to details. In the Machiavellian game of life, details are everything. A $20 shirt that is tailored to fit your body perfectly looks like a $200 shirt. A $500 shirt that hangs off you like a garbage bag makes you look like a clown. You do not need to be rich to find a local tailor. You only need to be strategic. The core of this dark psychology relies on the as-if principle. You must act, dress, and walk as if you are already the person you intend to become. This is not about faking it until you make it. That implies fraud. This is about signaling your future reality before it physically manifests. When you dress impeccably, even on days when you feel entirely broken inside, you create a cognitive dissonance in your own brain. Your mind looks in the mirror and says, wait, I am dressed like a winner. I look like a boss. Therefore, I must be one. Your internal chemistry literally changes. Your testosterone levels adjust to your posture. By refusing to look poor, you trick your own brain out of poverty. But more importantly, you hack the brains of your enemies, your rivals, and your potential allies. When you walk into a negotiation, whether it is for a job, a business deal, or even a date, and you look undeniably sharp, you establish a baseline of value. If you look like $1 million, people will instinctively feel guilty offering you pennies. They will negotiate against themselves before you even state your price. You are using their own psychological biases as a weapon against them. Appearance is not just fabric, it is space. How much space are you willing to take up? People with a poor mindset physically shrink themselves. They cross their arms. They look down at their phones. They avoid eye contact. They are subconsciously trying to disappear to avoid confrontation. If you want to never look poor, you must walk like you own the ground you step on. Shoulders back, chest open, eyes fixed on the horizon, not the pavement. When you make eye contact, hold it a fraction of a second longer than is comfortable. This subtle act of dominance tells the other person's primal brain that you are not afraid, that you have options, and that your status is secure. Remember this dark truth. The world is incredibly lazy. people do not have the time or the energy to dig deep into your soul to discover your hidden potential. They will judge you on the packaging. If you present yourself as a high-value commodity, they will pay the high-value price. If you present yourself in the bargain bin of life, you will be bought and sold for nothing. If you think this is merely about aesthetics, you are grossly underestimating human stupidity and our primal hardwiring. Let me prove to you just how terrifyingly powerful the illusion of appearance truly is. In 1906, a completely broke, homeless, and unemployed shoemaker named Wilhelm Voigt walked into a second-hand shop in Berlin. He was a nobody. Society had rejected him. He had a criminal record, and he had absolutely no power, no money, and no future. But Voigt understood one dark Machiavellian truth. People do not obey the man. They obey the uniform. They obey the appearance of authority. He scraped together whatever pennies he had and bought pieces of a used Prussian military captain's uniform. It wasn't even a complete matching set, just parts of one. He put it on, adjusted his posture, and walked out onto the street. The moment he put on that uniform, his reality changed. The same people who would have spat on him as a homeless shoemaker suddenly stepped aside, saluted him, and called him Sir. But Voigt didn't stop there. He walked up to a squad of actual armed soldiers on the street and ordered them to follow him. And because he looked the part, they obeyed without a single question. He marched these soldiers to the local town hall of Köpenick, ordered the arrest of the mayor, confiscated the entire city treasury, and walked away with a fortune. He commanded an entire town, not with a gun, not with actual rank, but purely with the psychological weapon of appearance. He forced the world to bend to his will simply by refusing to look poor and powerless. This is the terrifying reality of human psychology. We are conditioned to look for visual cues to tell us who is in charge, who is valuable, and who we should submit to. If a homeless man can conquer a town with a second-hand coat, imagine what you can conquer by simply upgrading the visual signals you send to the world every single day. You must begin to treat your appearance as your personal armor and your daily uniform of power. You do not need a military coat, but you do need a uniform that commands respect in your specific environment. If you work in an office, your uniform is the sharpest, cleanest, best-fitting suit or shirt in the building. If you are an entrepreneur, your uniform is the look of someone who is too focused, too disciplined, and too successful to look messy. The dark psychology of appearance dictates that you must never show the world your struggles through your clothing. When you are going through your darkest days, when your bank account is empty, when your heart is broken, or when you feel like a complete failure, that is the exact moment you must dress better than ever before. You must create an impenetrable fortress of visual perfection. If you look defeated, the sharks will smell the blood in the water. They will exploit your vulnerability, but if you look sharp, untouchable, and immaculate, even when you are internally bleeding, you project an illusion of invincibility. People will look at you and think, this person is in control, and eventually, you will start to believe it yourself. Let us discuss the micro-signals of wealth and value. It is not about logos. It is about the silent details that scream high status. Look at your shoes. The state of your shoes tells a psychological story about your attention to detail. Scuffed, dirty, worn-out shoes signal to a high-value observer that you do not care about the foundations of your life. Keep them clean. Keep them polished. Look at your posture when you sit. Poor people, and I mean psychologically poor people, sit on the edge of their chairs. They shrink inwards, holding their bags tightly, as if they are apologizing for taking up the chair. Kings do not sit like that. A person of high value leans back. They occupy space. They rest their arm on the chair next to them. They move slowly. Fast, jerky movements are a sign of anxiety and low status. Slow, deliberate movements are a sign of a predator who knows he has no natural enemies in the room. When you combine impeccable, clean, tailored clothing with slow, dominant body language, you create a psychological force field that demands instant respect. You must also master the psychology of color. Dark colors, blacks, deep navies, charcoal greys, are universally recognized by the human brain as colors of authority, mystery, and power. They create a stark contrast against your environment. They hide imperfections and project an image of seriousness. When you wear dark, solid colors, you force the observer to look at your face and listen to your words. Rather than being distracted by your clothing, you become the center of gravity in the room. But remember the most ruthless rule of Machiavellian appearance: consistency. You cannot be a king on Monday and a peasant on Tuesday. If you show up looking powerful one day, and the next day you look like you just rolled out of bed, you destroy the illusion. You prove that your power was a costume, not your actual identity. To force others to respect you, your visual standard must be ruthless and unchanging. It must be a non-negotiable law of your existence. Do not wait for success to dress like a success. That is a loser's game. The dark truth is that success comes to those who already look like they have it. You must demand the respect of the world before you have technically earned it on paper. Take a cold, hard look in the mirror today. Ask yourself, does this person look like a victim, or does this person look like a master? Strip away the cheap signals. Destroy the baggy clothes. Fix your posture. Step into the uniform of your future self and watch as the world immediately shifts its behavior to accommodate the new king in the room. If you are ready to stop looking poor and start weaponizing your appearance to command the respect you deserve, leave a comment